This is the smell of purple and was launched in New Delhi back in 2014. But we reissued it and we were supposed to come down here, but COVID struck. So here we are, finally. This is called Mr. Daddy's Soft. Always her fascination with me shaving. This her early morning ritual, observing each action as if it were holy. I coat my face in foam. Santa Claus, she chants. She gulps, goes over my bump without slicing it off. The shaving uncovers the me she knows. Soft, Mr. Daddy's soft. She gurgles in a lather of laughter. Me now, she pleads. Me now. I take the brush, coat her reflection with foam. I shave her with the tip of my little finger. Her reflection sniggers and she sniggers too. Later in the early evening she appears, bearded in fresh cream. She shaves herself with a lollipop stick. Me daddy now, see? Cha on the tips of my toes as she clings to my fingertips. The room dances around us. One delighted half-shaved little girl, one delighted soft, Mr. Daddy. And the smell of purple, she came in one day with this announcement that she could smell purple. So, smell of purple. She says she can smell yellow. She says she can smell blue, despite not being able to spell either colour. Yellow smells the same as blue, don't you know? Like a wet kitty drying by the fire. Red smells like Mammy when she kisses. Her kisses smell different when she kisses you. Then she smells like flames with little orange tips. Purple is my favourite smell. It smells just like a magic spell. I kiss her goodnight like lilac, only lighter, with little flecks of purple scattered here and there. And this is called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty.
Oh.
We were at a cocktail party, darling, and we got here very late and very hungover. And Tilly used to come and jump on us at 4 o'clock. We were just mounted male, female flesh, a landscape of mixed flesh. And she just jump on us, and that's a terrible hard way to wake up. It's 4 o'clock, and Tilly doesn't care that we've been to a party, darling, and she's going to wake me up. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I wake, covered in glorious glitter, smelling strongly of Privier glue, sticking to my cheek, very hungover, and covered in blue, orange, yellow-red feathers. A bubble recently blown perched upon my nose. I still have comatose. Tiny bubbles travel amongst my curls as through a bigger bubble brightly, nestling neatly over my right eye. I observe my tiny daughter purse her lips and kiss more bubbles into being. Tilly, I force my lips, still frozen in sleep, to somehow speak. What you do? See, even my syntax and sentence structure is sharp. She smiles sweetly. I'm pitying you. I need a daughter to do. And this is called Jerry Sweeney's Mammy. And this poem is called So Pricket Him the Tour and Her Courageous, which means that when spring comes, nature's going to make you do what you've got to do, whether you're a bird or a bee, a boy or a girl. Spring will blossom in you. One that April was a sure sota, the drocht of March passed to the rota, and bad at every vine with switchel core, of which virtue unjoined is the floor. One Zephyrus Aprils with a breath, in spirit hath, in every halt and hurt, the tender croppers and the youngest son had in the palm, forget the rest. Should never drink before you. And smaller fellas, machen melodia, that slepen all the night with open ear. So pricket him the tour and her courageous, then longen folk to go on pilgrimages. Never did help my dad enough. Always head stuck in a book. Dónall, son, he'd call. Can you hold this while I saw? Ah, da, I'd wail, me lost in Chaucer and his tale. And so the saw saws. But all I hear is, yo, the miller was a chap of 16 stone, a great stout fella, big and broad and born, a bit like Stephen there. Saw cuts through the afternoon. Pauses, then Chaucer's on again. He did well out of it, for he could go and win the ram at any wrestling show. Say what? Oh, don't get me wrong. I adored the aesthetic beauty of sawdust floating in a universe of its own, suspended in sunlight and shadow. The smell of pine kidnapping my mind, the green dance of a bubble in a spirit ladder. Didn't have time for all that hammering and sawing. I was a boy in a mission ever since our teacher sighing, "Oh, I don't know why I teach you scruff sir. You'll never read the book." But by the weekend, furious at the rebuff, I had. My poor old dad only getting begrudging help. On that April, the words falling like gentle rain upon my mind, with a sure sota, the drops of March, words, oh sweet words, had passed to the rota, my mind bawed at every vine in switchly core, the bubble in the spirit level, poised perfectly poised, of which for two, unjolted is the floor. Thank you. And Jerry Sweeney's mammy. When I was young, I didn't know anything about where babies came from or sex or anything like that. Jan is busy filling me in now. And I thought that a chap could have three mammies. And I thought my definition of a mammy was an emotional one. I thought anybody who loves you to that nth degree must be a mammy. And by that degree, my dad was the best mammy I ever had. But I had Mrs. Sweeney up the road. I had my Aunt Mary down in Cork. And they were it for me. So my mother had to take me aside and say, "You know Mrs. Sweeney, yeah?" And I said, "Yeah." "You know she's not your mammy, don't you?" And I said, "What? You're kidding me." So these are the things you have to learn when you're birth. Mrs. Sweeney was Jerry Sweeney's mammy. And even though I had my own, I had her on loan. It was like having a spare mammy. And even when she was mad with us, she just couldn't be mad with us. "Go on," she grinned, "go on. You'd wear the heart out of a stone. And if you fell and you was crying, heart and knee badly grazed, or badly bitten by a bee, she would hug you up with all of herself. Come here to me, you poor little doze. Wrap you up in so much love, it would last for years. For years." Jerry Sweeney was my best friend ever. Way back in the way back then. Still is, nothing's changed. Except those young fellas have become old fellas who still think they're young fellas. And every time I see him, I could almost cry. I can still see his mammy smiling out of his eyes. One, all right. This is a haiku. It's very hard to perform haikus, but I'll make it go with it. This is called New Dog, Old Tricks. It was my daughter's 3rd year of being herself, and we invited 33 little 3-year-olds over to celebrate this fact. And jelly was the big thing. Red jelly, yellow jelly, orange jelly, blue jelly. And green jelly was it for some reason. And clear to God, and we run out of green jelly. So I had to go out and get more green jelly, and I left the room. And when I was getting the green jelly, I came back, and there was ruckus in the room. Total chaos. And I thought, what the hell is happening there? And as I approached the door to open it, it went deadly quiet. And I was even more scared by the silence. And the door belted open, and all they ran out, 33 little girls, and they basically said this haiku. "The dog's in the loo. We must teach him to pee." And he just fell in. Thank you. Beware 3-year-old girls.